So now the White House is eyeing a fossil fuel lobbyist to become an energy advisor. Because, hey, we're already corrupt enough. Why not some more? Politico. Fossil fuel industry lobbyist Mike Catanzaro is under consideration to serve as an energy advisor on the National Economic Council, sources told Politico, an appointment that would test President Donald Trump's promise to limit the number of lobbyists who serve in his administration. Catanzaro, who is a registered lobbyist as of last month, is a partner at the firm CGCN Group. His clients include American Fuel and Petrochemical Manufacturers, an industry trade group, natural gas company Devon Energy, renewable energy company Next Era Energy, and fossil fuel companies Noble Energy and Hess Corporation, among others, according to lobbying disclosure records. During the presidential campaign, Trump repeatedly vowed to drain the swamp in Washington. He signed an executive order late last month that bars registered lobbyists from participating in any particular matter on which they lobbied in the past 2 years. Those lobbying restrictions last for 2 years from the time the person joins the administration. The order allows for the administration to issue a waiver that would let lobbyists serve in the administration, but it does not include a provision like the one in an order signed by President Barack Obama in 2009 that requires disclosure of the waivers. It's unclear if Catanzaro would sign a waiver or recuse himself from working on specific issues in which he lobbies. Trump's National Economic Council is led by former Goldman Sachs Group COO Gary Cohn. Catanzaro is among the lobbyists listed in CGCN's January lobbying registration for Goldman Sachs Group. Before he became a lobbyist, Catanzaro held a number of high-profile energy policy jobs in Washington. He was a Republican aide on the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, an energy advisor to George W. Bush's 2004 presidential campaign, a top staffer in Bush's EPA, and his White House Council on Environmental Quality, and a member of Mitt Romney's presidential transition team. Catanzaro also briefly served on Trump transition team. So basically, a fossil fuel lobbyist is going to be joining the Trump administration as an energy advisor, joining the EPA head, who's not confirmed yet, Scott Pruitt, who doesn't believe in climate change, joining the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, who, is that a coincidence? Rex Tillerson's confirmed, DAPL goes through. Joining Rick Perry, who's going to be confirmed as the Secretary of Energy, who was a board member with Energy Transfer Partners, the parent company of DAPL. So basically, you got ExxonMobil, Energy Transfer Partners, Sunoco Logistics. Big Oil is literally, they're not even having a seat at the table. They put the tablecloth out, they're setting the plates, they're cleaning the table. This is disastrous. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't even think Hillary Clinton as president would be this bad in terms of lining with fossil fuel and big oil interests. I just don't. I don't think she's that brazen. Trump doesn't care. Trump doesn't care about appearances. And he doesn't care about the environment. So it doesn't really matter. But you got the Secretary of State from ExxonMobil. The Secretary of Energy is literally was a board member for Energy Transfer Partners. You got the EPA head, doesn't believe in climate change, and now you got this fossil fuel lobbyist is going to join as an energy advisor. Folks, I would do some research on your community. How many oil pipelines are there? How much fracking is going on? Look at it now, because if you want to, I would encourage you to look at it in 6 months and a year and see. Because they're not doing this, they're not like silently and, under the guise of night, slowly trying to do this. They're trying to frack the hell out of this country. They want to put every last pipeline through. They want to sweep oil spills under the rug and not report it. If you're paying attention in North Dakota just passed a bill lowering the threshold to report oil spills, and they don't even report oil spills as it is. So right now, it's in North Dakota. You got the Sable Pipeline in Florida. You got Trans-Pecos in Texas. You got the Atlantic Sunrise Pipeline in Pennsylvania. That's just the ones off the top of my head. Oh, the Pilgrim Pipeline up in New York. They're everywhere. The Algonquin. It's going to be on you to stop these things proactively before they start. The Dakota Access Pipeline was already, 50%, 60%, 70% done by the time I got there and a lot of other media got there. But the awareness needs to be raised. And we still need to demonstrate. You still need to protest, even if this is going through. Don't let these people do this under the guise of night and just ram it through. CNN's not going to cover it. MSNBC's not going to cover it. I will. The Young Turks will. Democracy Now! Will. Independent journalists will. And together, we're going to force this into the spotlight. Because this isn't like, this is not a subjective thing. Objectively, we know all these pipelines spill. It's not if, it's when. And, I'm a long game person. This fight against injustice is not a short game thing. It's a long-term thing. So you're going to have a few defeats. But you got to keep on fighting. Because if you lay down and you roll over, that's what they want. That is what they want. And Shannon just said it best. On top of pipelines, you have mass agriculture that is polluting rivers. You got all these cities that have lead in the water. And that's just the ones that the EPA is actually testing for. And the EPA, as I've shown you in Flint and East Chicago, they're not even testing for bacteria, which independent investigators are finding tons of. I, an internet journalist, tested water and found chloroform in a poor woman's house. You got to be your own journalist. You got to be your own activist. Because the government's not going to do it for you. Trump's not going to do it for you. Nobody's going to do it for you but you and us collectively. So I could do whatever, I went to Standing Rock 6 times. I might go back again. I've done everything I can to spotlight this. I hope I made somewhat of an impact. Even if it is a defeat, you got to fight anyway. Because if you don't fight, eventually you're not going to have any water to drink. You're going to be drinking oil, and you're not going to even have tears to cry. You're going to be crying oil. And I know, the trolls could say whatever they want. I don't give a damn. You're either on the right side of history or you're not. So to watch other videos I've done on No Dapple, youtube.com/TYTpolitics. I will be going live again later in the day on a different topic. That's youtube.com/TYTpolitics. And if you came late to this live stream, once I'm done, go to the beginning. I listed the number of protests around the country today, what time they're at, and where they're going to be. Thanks a lot.